So hello all tech enthusiasts, my name is Shubham Sharma. So today in this video I am going to discuss about one of the amazing end-to-end projects made by me in the field of data science. So let's get started without any delay. So before we move ahead, I would like to discuss few major steps while making an end-to-end project. So while making an end-to-end project, you should always have to keep in mind the following steps. Like the first step, which is very important while making an end-to-end data science project, which is data ingestion. Now, in case of data ingestion, the major thing which we have to keep in mind is to collect the data resources from any required resource. It can be article, any website, or any other resource. So basically I have this problem statement which has been taken from the Kaggle, and in this dataset we have 10 independent features: ID, caret, cut, color, clarity, depth, and table. And with the help of all these 10 features, we will be able to predict the price of a diamond. So now in diamond industry, what was initially happening? Initially, the prediction method for a particular diamond was totally manual. So now with the help of this particular project, we can automate this task. Now let me show you the data sets resource which I have taken from the Kaggle. So as it is showing you regression with a tabular gemstone price data set. So this data set was available on the Kaggle platform. I have basically taken the dataset reference from the Kaggle. Now moving forward, the next step after doing data collection is exploratory data analysis. So now let's talk about what I have done here. So first of all, I have imported the dataset from the Kaggle by using pandas library, and here I have make the alias of this library. After that, I have used a function called read CSV in order to read the data from the gemstone CSV file. Now this method is basically giving us top 5 rows of a gemstone data. Then after I have checked the null values in our data set. So as we can see, there is no null values available in the data set. After that, I have used this function in order to check the data type of a particular column. So here we have ID column. So data type is integer. In caret column, we have float. So basically we are checking the data type of every column by using the info function. And after that, I have removed a column which is ID, labels equal to ID, x is equal to 1. Now this x is equal to 1 is denoting the column. If x is equal to 0, then it means we will remove the rows. But if x is equal to 1, then it will remove the rows. It will iterate column wise. Then I have checked the duplicated values in my data set. After that, I have converted all my categorical data into the numerical data. As we all know, if you are working in the data science industry, so our model only understand the numerical data instead of categorical data. So I have basically achieve all those columns which have data types not equal to object. So I have used this statement particular for getting the numerical column. So this particular column is giving us the data type which has not object data. After that, we have used here categorical. We have in this line, it is showing the categorical columns. So where the data type is equal to object, it is basically getting stored in the categorical column. And for the above numerical column, it was basically happening because we are collecting the data which does not have integer. So that was going into the numerical column. After that, we are checking the descriptive analysis at once. So we are basically using the describe function. Describe function is basically for the checking, for getting all the statistics related information like count, uniqueness, top values, and frequently appearing values. After that, we have checked the particular value for a particular column. Let's say in the cut column we have how many columns. So in the cut quality we have total data of 92,454 in ideal and 49,910 in premium. So and as we move ahead, so there are 37,566 very good quality diamond. So this is telling us the number of values present in each column. So with respect to exploratory data analysis, I have basically founded the null values of the data set, outliers. If there is any missing value, so I have replaced them with any other value. After that, we have basically trained our model. So for training our model, I have used the scikit-learn library. As you are working in the data science domain, so I think you are already familiar with the scikit-learn library. So here basically I have separated the numerical and categorical variables. So I am basically here giving you a fast review of my project so that you can get an idea regarding end-to-end project. After that, I have basically done the one auto encoding in order to convert the categorical data to numerical data. Now moving ahead to next our part, which is model evaluation. So let's quickly move further. So for the model training purpose, I have trained this model with the help of linear regression. So in linear regression also we have it is further divided into lasso, ridge, elastic net. So basically I have made this model with the help of linear regression algorithm. And for the accuracy score, I have used the R2 score, RMSE and MAE. And after that, for getting this for getting the end result of this particular end-to-end solution, I have used the Flask application for making the web page for this particular use case. So as we can see, I have imported the Flask from Flask module. After that, I have built a pipeline also. So I forgot to tell you about the pipeline library. So basically what is happening, with the help of pipeline, we are pushing our code with the help of making some pipeline, so that whenever there is requirement of scalability, we can easily use this pipeline in order to deploy our project in a production grade. So pipelines are basically helping us in making a continuous integration and continuous deployment project of the project. So if you know about the CI/CD pipeline, so I think you already understood about why I have created pipeline. So in exception handling, basically while making an end-to-end project, we also face some difficulty. Means there are lots of error arising. So in order to avoid that, I have basically make a custom exception class handling in order to avoid the error. If there will be any error arise, it will basically give us the error message in our terminal. After that, I have used logger file in order to make the log of every steps. Whenever there will be any particular step start, let's say from data ingestion, so it will basically get it documented at the backend that this step is running at this time. So this logger file is basically for the logging of the data. Logging means to store the continuous process of end-to-end project. In utils file is basically for the utility functionality. So whatever you have done in your while in model training step. So in that case, it is basically helping us to evaluate the model. So with the help of for loop, I have basically went into the length of models by using for I in en. Then after I have created a list, I have converted this into a list, and that list is storing in model. After that, I have used the parameter fit with x train and y train. Now this x train and y train are the two variables which we earlier declared, which are independent. And this is our pipeline folder which I was talking earlier. So basically, with the help of this pipeline code, we are pushing our code in the form of a pipeline, and that pipeline will help us in order to make this code deployable and more scalable at a production level. Now this init underscore init.py file is basically for linking this entire code package with our environments variable, with our virtual environment, sorry. And one more thing I want to tell you. So how this entire code is basically appearing on the web page. So basically, after making a machine learning model, we have to make a pickle file so that we can use it for showing at any front end or for deploying in any other website. So pickle file is also important. I forgot to tell you earlier, but making a pickle file really help us a lot in order to make our application deployed at the scalable and production level. So in this project, I have basically taken this following library: pandas, numpy, seaborn, flask, scikit-learn, and this -e dot basically linking our entire project with our environment. And why I have commented him, because whenever I was installing the packages, so this package was again and again creating. So basically, I have commented this. And while making an end-to-end project, you have to always keep your all the requirements, modules and library in the requirements.txt file. This is the best practice and used by all the data scientists. So you should always have to follow a standard criteria while making a data science end-to-end projects. Now let me show you the output of this code. So for running this, simply you have to write python application.py. So as I have already written the command, so my server is running. Now I have to simply go on to the web browser and simply type the HTTP. So this is basically running on the local host 5000 port number. So after that, this basically UI has come, and after this is basically coming the home page. Now let me show you how this home page is showing us. So this is basically showing us with the help of this render.template function. This function is helping us in order to get the web page for this machine learning model. Now let me show you how I have created this index.html and whatever there is written in the index.html. So here I have basically written this HTML and CSS file in order to make this front end look some interactive and visually look amazing. So as I have not to use too much CSS in that, I have only used the required CSS with whatever I know, because I don't have such web development background, but I am also learning web development also, so that I can make web page by my own self, not depending on others. And always remember, you should always have to learn one thing at a one time, but you should explore every field of tech, because you don't know in which field you are excelled in future. So for avoiding that, you should explore every field so that you can get idea about your passion and interest in that particular field. So as I also try, so I will also strongly suggest you to try this, explore every field. Now let me give you some idea how this project is happening. So basically this caret function is for the diamond weight, and this depth is basically the how much depth in the diamond have. So basically for judging a particular price of a diamond, you should have domain knowledge of diamond industry. So for that you can use the HRD website, which is totally for which totally tells us about the diamond industry at international level, and this website is authentic also, so you can get idea about diamond prices, how the price of a diamond calculates. Wait for a while, I'm showing you. So basically this website will help you in order to decide a price of a diamond. So let me tell you what are the factors which decide the price of a diamond. So the first factor is carat. There are lots of features available for deciding a prices of a diamond, but we have used only these 8 to 10 features in order to declare the price of a diamond, because this is more than sufficient in order to predict the price of a diamond, because these are the major feature which will decide a price of a diamond. So here you can see carat feature is basically denoting the weight of a diamond, depth feature is denoting the how much depth in prevalent inside the diamond. This is the diamond table, this is the X dimension, Y dimension, Z dimension, and this is for the cut quality. So here in the cut quality we have 5 parameters. Basically 5 qualities of diamond available: fair, good, very good, premium, ideal. Moving ahead, we have color qualities also available. So these are some of the denotion which is provided by the international organization, which is HRD. So this organization mainly decides the color, carat, and all the parameters of a diamond. So if you want to know more about the diamond industry, then go ahead and check this website so that you can get an idea about the diamond. Now let's predict the price of a diamond. Let's say I have selected the G color, and for this I have selected VS1 clarity. So clarity is basically for the diamond transparency, means how much influctuation available in the diamond. Now influctuation stands for the diamond shininess, means how much diamond is shining or how much it has transparency. So that is basically indicating the clarity. Now let's check the price. So this diamond is very cheap. The price is coming 419. Now let's check for another features. Let's say I have taken 0.4. I am using different parameter. So the diamond below 1 carat is generally more expensive. Now let's check. So it is also coming 675 around. So we don't have basically the idea of actual how the diamond price decides. So that's why we are lagging. Otherwise you can go ahead and explore the website, and after coming from the website, you can, if you get the proper idea about the diamond, then you can simply enter your diamond details and you can get the price of particular diamond. So this was it from my side. If you like this particular video, then please do subscribe and hit the like button for more such upcoming updates. Till then, keep learning and keep exploring new things.